Hello, ladies. Hello, hello, hello. I'm so glad you guys can join me today. I see that I got a few people on here already. Today we are continuing with our 3D theme. We are going to be putting lots of things in our box for under the sea. Oh, I have some comments over here. There we go. All right, guys. I know lots of you guys can't comment on the side. That's okay. I'm so glad you are here with me today. And if you haven't made any of the things that I'm going to be working with, that's totally fine. Stay here and watch how I do it. And when you have the time, you guys can do it too. Hello. I'm so glad you guys have joined me today. A change up that I have for you guys, instead of my regular mess mat that I've been using, I have switched to wax paper today. Some of you guys might not have wax paper. As long as you have something down on your table so that your Play-Doh doesn't stick directly to the table, it's going to be really, really helpful. So hopefully you have your Play-Doh that you might have made yesterday, or maybe you have Play-Doh that you didn't make, but you just have Play-Doh, which is totally fine. Bring your Play-Doh, bring whatever you have. Most people don't have it, but there's stuff called polymer clay, or it's an oil-based clay where it's never going to dry and you can keep remolding it into things. If you have some of that, bring some of that stuff, okay? I'm trying to read the comments over here too. All right, looks like I got two people chatting away with each other. I'm so very glad to have you guys with me today. Hopefully you have your box. Here is my box. This is the one I did on Wednesday. Hi, Chloe, I see you over there. And hopefully you have Play-Doh or something you can use to make the sea creatures. Some other things that would be helpful. If you were not able to make colored Play-Doh, I know that looks black, it's actually purple or indigo, and you could only make white Play-Doh, it's no big deal. I will show you how to add color to the white Play-Doh. I did some tests and it works really, really well. So here is a starfish. I will show you guys how to make the starfish. I only painted one side, but I used watercolor paint on it and it worked just fine. So if you have something like this around your house, take a second and go grab it. I'm not going to start my actual lesson just yet. If you don't have any kind of paint at all, and you also have the white Play-Doh, regular old markers will work on it too. So grab some markers, grab your Play-Doh, grab your box, and something weird I want you to grab if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. A spoon. I know, really, really, really weird, okay? The spoon will help us create details on our sea creatures. I'm going to teach you guys how to make a fishy and a bunch of other things. Hi, Rowan. I see you over there now. I see Chloe. I'm sure there's lots of other friends on here too. I'm super excited to have you guys on here with me today. So go gather up those materials. If you haven't, get your box, get your Play-Doh. If you need color items, go get your color items. In about 2-3 minutes, I'm going to flip the camera over and I'm going to get started with you guys. So I've got some indigo. I got some orange. My daughter's mixed some colors together, so I've got this really cool, kind of light beige-ish color. I've got some yellow, pretty blue with Olaf. And I got some pink, and I got some green. I'm not going to use every single one of them. I'm probably just going to be using my white Play-Doh to show you guys how to make all these different sea creatures. Don't worry if you didn't get to make Play-Doh. Stick around, watch the video anyway, Rowan, and anyone else who hasn't made the Play-Doh. You guys can always do this again when you do have the supplies. Just lock it away in your memory, okay? Does that make sense, guys? All right. Got some Play-Doh, good. I see lots of people have Play-Doh. Oh, we lost some people. That's okay. Something else that could be helpful is a straw, but you don't need a straw, or the back of a paintbrush, so we can make a hole so we can have our fishy hanging from the top of the box. That was one of my ideas. All right, I'm glad some people are sticking around. Okay, guys, instead of chatting for a while, I'm gonna flip you guys over and we're gonna get started right away, okay? All right, I gotta move that over. And remember, this is the awkward part. I'm sorry, but until I get a second camera, this is what I have to do. There we go. Oh yes, I'm wearing my art teacher shirt. That's about the unicorn and the teacher. My little marks. Well, that didn't work like I wanted it to. I put down little tape marks, but it's not straight anymore. And this is my wax paper I was talking about, guys. Okay, we're just gonna have a crooked wax paper today. I hope that doesn't bug anybody. All right, I see lots of people made some. Okay, I'm super excited to be with you guys today. Let's get started. So in my box, I think the first thing I want to do is to make some coral with you guys. Okay, so if you have colored colored Play-Doh, yellows or oranges or stuff like that makes a really good coral color. If you have just plain white Play-Doh, use this plain white Play-Doh. I'm going to do it with, I think, which color should I do it with, guys? Can you tell me? Should I use the orange or should I use the yellow? And then there's one color you don't want to make coral out of, and that one color is going to be green. If you make green coral, it's going to look like it's seaweed, and we definitely don't want that. I get a both. I have a yellow. All right, so I think the first one I'm going to start off with is yellow, and then I can also make a second one. All right, I got 2 votes for yellow. Oh, you guys see how I'm wearing my rings? I know most kids don't really wear rings, but if you do have jewelry on, if you have like a bracelet and it has little danglies on it, take them off. Whenever I work in 3D or if I work with clay or Play-Doh, I always take off my jewelry. That way I don't have to wash it later. Okay, let's get this Play-Doh out of the bag. And bloop. Okay, you are not going to need this whole entire chunk to do this. You are only going to need a small piece. If you guys have ever done clay with me before, I like to have you guys work the clay. So I actually do want you to work the Play-Doh. Get it soft. The word you're looking for is malleable. It's a really long word that just means it's super soft and it moves around a lot. Okay, so one thing I don't think I've mentioned to you guys yet to have the Play-Doh dry. So we're actually not going to be putting it, unless if you want to. I'm going to be leaving it in my box and letting it dry. And when it dries, it looks like this, and it's kind of hard, and it's got all these little salt dots in them. And so this is my sand dollar. I'll show you guys how to make sand dollars. Okay, so I'm going to take a good size pinch. This is probably like a marble, a big marble, a cat's eye marble. I'm going to roll this around in my hand, and I'm going to pinch it up like this. Can you guys see that? And then I need to have a base. And then I'm going to fold this over, and that is where this is going to be the base, the coral. Let me see if I can get a better angle for you guys. Maybe if I do it like this, it might be a little bit better. And then you can take more Play-Doh, roll it in your fingers, and then I call this like a snail shape or a slug shape. Ooh, it stuck to me a little bit. Try that again. And then attach it to the little base, making a little arm to the coral. Ooh, my Play-Doh is sticking to me bad. I think I'm gonna have to switch over to my white Play-Doh. See, if you make a mistake, it's all good. All you're gonna do is learn from it, and now we're gonna try something else. Because this yellow's sticking to me so badly, I'm gonna switch to my white Play-Doh that I know is a little bit stronger because I added more flour to it. So if your Play-Doh is sticking to you, and if it's homemade Play-Doh, a little bit more flour will make it less sticky. I think having the Play-Doh sit in bags overnight maybe made it a little bit too tacky. So this was new Play-Doh that I made. All right, let's try that again. Take a ball, roll it in my hands, smoosh it, bloop, 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 and pull it up, almost like a unicorn horn coming out of it. Smoosh, 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 smoosh. Okay. I see we got some more people arriving. All right, make that slug-like thing and stick it out. And then I try to balance it because you see how it's starting to fall down with another one on the other side. Bloop. Doop, 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 doop. I know I use lots of sound effects. I did it in the classroom too. You guys just didn't notice. All right. And then we can do one more big arm, keeping it small. If you make them too big, it gets floppy and it just flops right down. So right here, another arm. And the one I did yesterday, it flopped down too. So this is what I'm trying to achieve. And it is not working for me. So I need to figure something else out. Let's try it this way instead. I'm gonna pinch, I balled everything back up and now I'm just pinching it out. There we go. This feels a little bit more stable, like it's not gonna fall down on me anymore. If you guys are successful, let me know. All right, let me see if I can get another different angle again. Up. There we go. Okay, so now I've taken a really, really small, like really, really small chunk. What I want to do is I want to make a little branch coming off. You guys have all seen coral, right? If you haven't seen coral, go look it up on Google. All right, take another little tiny pinch. Have it stick off of this one. Stick it off of me. And another little tiny one. And yesterday when I was building my coral, I found it really, really helpful to take small pinches and just like slowly build up the arms. You guys do know that I always practice these art projects before I show you guys. Okay. So my coral is flopping down, trying to help support it. There we go. I think that's starting to look like a pretty good coral. So I'm going to call this coral good. Somebody asked, will I be showing you how to make homemade Play-Doh? I did show you guys on Thursday's video. If you want to go back and watch the video, you can. But it's really easy. It's a recipe that I learned when I was a kid. It's 1 cup of flour. It's half a cup of salt and half a cup of water. You mix it around and then you knead it in your hands. And if it's too sticky, you add a little bit more flour. It's on so many websites. You can look it up anywhere. I hope that answers your question. I'm glad some people have some regular Play-Doh at home too. Ooh, I bet I'm really loud because my mic is really close to me. Okay, so here is my box, and I want to go ahead and stick my coral inside my box. Oh, I'm off screen. There we go. See, there's my little coral. And then I'm actually going to come back once this is dry, and I'm going to paint that coral in the corner. Okay, so I want to show you guys how to make a fishy. This is going to be the main attraction in our sea box. If you would rather make a shark, all you'd have to do is elongate the fish and then give it some scary little teeth, and you guys can make it into a shark. Really, really up to you. So here is my plain white Play-Doh. I'm going to pinch a pretty good chunk of it. So this is like a candy. What are those things called? The Lindor candies. You know how big they are? So this is a pretty big chunk of Play-Doh. Bloop. I like to let it just bloop on the table. So smoosh it down. And then I want to make it into more of an eye shape or a lemon shape or a football shape, whatever you want to call that. Oh, good. The person understood what I was saying about making the Play-Doh. All right. So there is my lemon shape. Okay. I have a paintbrush laying around. And remember, I said grab a spoon and grab a straw. All of these tools are going to help us make the different things. So right here, I'm going to give it some fishy lips. So I'm going to push that point in. And there are my fishy lips. Okay. And then right here with my straw, if I push down about halfway, it gives me a little eye. If you don't have a straw, you can use this and you can push down halfway and it'll also give you the little eye shape. Avril and Delaney. Oh, hi, Avril. And oh my goodness, I'm so bad at reading names. Darylyn, I'm pretty sure. I say hi back to you guys too. In case if you guys don't know, which I'm not ashamed of this, I have dyslexia and it makes it really hard for me to read, but that's why I'm really good at art. So when you're hard at one thing, it makes it easier at others. So give and take. I'm all good with it. I've lived with it all my life. All right. So right here, I'm going to go back to my Play-Doh. I'm going to do a little tiny pinch, and we need to make the dorsal fin at the top. So right here, I'm going to make a triangle. See my little triangle? I'm going to stick it right here on top, and I want to smoosh it all together. Smoosh, smoosh, smoosh. Almost looks like a unicorn horn. And then that is my little dorsal fin, but I'm not going to be done with that. That's just the first step. Then same thing down below. Take a pinch, make it into a triangle. There we go. And connect it. And this is like the little side fin. If you actually want to put it on the side, you can. I find it helpful just to put it at the bottom. And then the same thing at the back, we're going to make back fins. I'm going to take a little bit larger of a chunk. This is like 2 fins put together because that's what we're going to do back here. So I'm going to roll it into a ball. And then I'm going to make it into like a log shape. I'm going to attach it back here, stick it all together, and then pinch and pinch. Pinch. And then smooth it all together. How's that? All right, so this is the beginning of our fishy. Now we're going to give it some more details. Remember that spoon. Now I'm going to use a spoon and I'm going to create the face area. There we go. There's my little separation. If all you have is your fingernail, you can actually do this with your fingernail too. And then I want to give my little fishy some gills. So bloop, bloop. There are my little gills for him to breathe with. Oh, Rowan, don't use those. Silly. Okay, and then something that I found really, really cool, really, really helpful is I took a marker lid. So here's a regular marker I had right next to me. And for fishy scales, I'm going to turn my marker slightly sideways and poke. And I'm only going to use half of the lid, and you guys can see my scales. If you're not actively doing this with me, remember this so that when you do make your fishy, you know exactly how to do this. And then just keep going. All right. And then something else you can do, you don't have to do this. I like to add little stripes, but if you just push and flick your wrist up, it doesn't work. I found out if you just poke the Play-Doh, it lets you add little stripes. So I'm poking like a billion little pokes and just taking it down to where I want it to go. And I can do the same thing over here. This fish kind of reminds me of the rainbow fish. It might be even fun to get a piece of tinfoil and to turn one of these scales into tinfoil. I think you guys have all heard that book, and if you haven't, check out the book. Okay, and then the very, very last step I want to do for my fishy is because I want to hang my fishy up, I want to give it a little hole. So not right here in the top of the fin, but down here, push my paintbrush all the way through, give it a swirl, and now you guys see my hole. This is where, once this is dry, I can put my string through. All right, so I'm gonna move my fishy to the side. This is gonna warp him a little bit because he's pretty stuck to my wax paper. That's okay. There we go. Move him right up there. Just so you guys know, I do have a dried fish that I will show you guys too. So this was my fish I made yesterday. Okay, there's gonna be two more things I want to show you guys. I don't know if you guys even know what sand dollars are. They're these little discs that have like a little star on them. And then I'm gonna show you guys how to make a starfish as well. So to make a sand dollar, just take a pinch, a yellow or a beige or a white or whatever you have, smoosh it down into a circle. Smoosh. I'm going to lift this up so that it doesn't stick as bad as the fishy stuck. And it does not have to be a perfect circle. You see how I got some edges that aren't perfectly round? Even sand dollars in nature are not perfect. All right, so the way I'm going to make a star on this is I'm going to use the back of this paintbrush and I'm going to do little dots. So first I'm going to go halfway down and then I'm going to stop at the halfway mark. My camera's having a hard time picking this up. And then I'm going to do an upside down letter Y. So I'm going to come out this way and come out this way. It's kind of like I have a peace symbol. And then to finish up the star, I'm going to come out this way and that way. And there is my sand dollar. If you want to go all the way around, you can, creating like a full circle. Ta-da! Sand dollar. Yep. There we go. And then I want to show you guys how to make this little starfish. I painted this starfish with just simple watercolor paints, in case if you missed that at the beginning. Oh, and here is a silly little thing you can make. This is a sea cucumber, and I colored this one with marker. Now, when you color up, when you color Play-Doh with marker, it sits on the top of the Play-Doh for a little while, and so it actually makes your fingers really, really messy if you touch it. So if you're going to use markers, have it in your box where you want it to be, color with markers, and then let it dry overnight. Okay, so there's my little sea cucumber is what they're called. They actually eat and crawl along the bottom of the seabed. I don't know why I'm fascinated with them, but I am, because I think they're cute. Okay, here is some more of my Play-Doh. I want to show you guys how to make a starfish. In the movie Finding Nemo, what was the name of the starfish? Can you guys tell me the name of the starfish? Fish outline. All right, so make a ball, splat it down, and now I'm going, the ball is still pretty thick. Don't smoosh it down a lot. I'm going to pinch, rotate, pinch, rotate, pinch, pinch, and pinch. Now I've got 5 little pinched points, and I'm just gonna smoosh that down, smoosh it, smoosh it, smoosh it, and smoosh it. And then that makes a little starfish. This one feels a little too to the side, so I'm just gonna fix it. And that is how I make a little starfish. And then of course you can come in with your tool or your pencil or something, and you can poke little dots. Starfish have little dots. All right. I hope everybody's being friendly in my chat over there, because remember, your classroom teachers talked about online presence and the way to act with everybody else. All right, there's my little starfish. I'm going to set it off right here. I have all of my little things right back there. All right, so there are all my little creatures that I have made. My hands are really, really salty. That is the fun thing about these homemade Play-Dohs, is that's what it does. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead to a step that a lot of you guys can't do, but I wanted to show it to you anyway. So what I wanted to show you is how to paint with watercolor paints onto dried Play-Doh. So here's my little fishy that I have made, and I have my watercolor paints right here. You can paint wet Play-Doh as well. This starfish was wet when I painted it, so if you wanted to paint it, you can, but you need to have a place where your fishies or whatever you make has an area where it can dry for 24 hours before you move it around. All right. So I also have my glass of water right here. I got my paints right here. Maybe I should bring you up a little bit higher. Nope. There we go. Now I have it all in scene. Okay. So right here, this is my dried fishy. I think I want to make him blue and purple. Actually, no, blue and purple would blend in too much. Maybe, trying to think. What do you guys think? Can you tell me? There we go. Somebody got the name. His name was Peaches. Hi, Eviana. I'm glad you're here. Yes, I knew it was Peaches. I was just waiting for somebody to tell me what the name was. Okay, so maybe some reds and oranges. Start off with orange. Maybe some orange and yellow. And then this paints really, really nicely once it's dry. Just go inside the mouth. Like I said, you can paint it while it's wet, but please have a place where it can dry. And I want to paint the fins. all the way around all the different edges. Remember, this is 3D. It has height, it has width, and it has depth. There we go. And then my little fin down here. I'm not going to make the whole thing orange. And then the back. Sorry, sometimes when I'm painting, I forget to talk. All right, looks like my back tail needs a little bit more orange. And the beauty of doing this on top of wax paper is the wax paper is acting like my mess mat. So if all you have is a mess mat, that's totally fine as well. All right, wash my brush completely. I think I'm trying to decide what other color I want to do. I think I'm going to do yellow for all of the scales, but I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to go back and I'm going to add a little extra to my scales. So paint the overall color. Oh, and there's my hole to string up my fishy. A little bit more water. If you want to do marker while your fish is still wet, you can have a wide variety of different things you do with markers. And if you guys don't have markers or watercolor paints and you have nothing that can add color, just go ahead and stick this regular old Play-Doh in your box anyway. I think it should still look pretty cool. Now, I did not paint my eye. I should probably go back in and paint it. I'm going to take a smaller brush because I do happen to have a smaller brush right next to me. And I'm going to paint my eye black. There we go. Now I can see his cute little eye. Rinse it off. Okay. And because I understand value really, really well, I'm going to come in here with some red. And on my fishy scales, oop, that added way, way, way too much. Way more than I wanted. Okay, so light touch right in here. I want to add a little bit of the watercolor paint just so you guys can see the scales. There we go. Now it's doing what I wanted it to do. I just had too much paint on it. What do you guys think? Does it look like my scales are kind of fading from two different colors? That was my goal. Hopefully that's what it looks like. Back. There we go. Okay, good. It does look like it's fading. So that is how I paint my little fish. If you guys want to let this dry and flip it over and paint the back part of it, you absolutely can. So I did want to show you guys what it looks like when you use marker on top of wet Play-Doh. So this is my sea star from earlier. And so when I found out when you do markers, if you just do one little line, it gets you a better color. And it's going to not be a perfect color. And I personally am totally okay with it. Like, it really made this little sea cucumber have spots, which in real life they do have spots. So little dabbies, always swiping in one direction. And see, you can color your Play-Doh with markers. Yes, I tried color pencils and no, it did not work. And the best thing is if you already have pre-colored Play-Doh. There we go. And if you wanted to, you don't have to do this at all, but because there are washable markers, if you wanted to get rid of all of those little empty spaces, just take some water and voila. Now you have a marker, but it looks like paint everywhere. Hopefully I'm giving you guys enough different things that you can use whatever you have at your house. Oh, I see Adrena's on. I missed you coming on. Hello. I know there's a bunch of other people on here too that they just can't type in the chat. Watercolor spilled on my pen. Oh no, good thing it's watercolor. It'll wash right out. Don't worry about that. All right. So from here, once everything is dried, you can take your box and you can put everything inside your box. Oh, seaweed. I didn't show you guys how to make seaweed. That's the last thing I'm going to show you guys, and then I'm going to sign off. Okay, clean up just a little tiny bit. Move it to the side. All right, to make seaweed inside of the box, come over here, camera. All right, I have green Play-Doh. Oh, I ripped the edge of the bag. That makes me sad. Okay. Making seaweed is extremely easy. Just take a big pinch of Play-Doh, make it kind of longer. Oopsie. And then on the back of your box, you're going to smoosh it in different directions. Ooh, did my head just hit the camera? And then you just do a bunch of them like that all across the back. If it is falling off, you can always use a little bit of glue to help hold it on. Again, if you don't have colored Play-Doh, then just put regular Play-Doh back there and paint it once it's dry. And I really, really do want to see your little under the sea things once you do get them finished. So if you are in 3rd through 5th grade, I will totally be making a thingy for you guys. If you're not, remember, email it to me or email it to your classroom teacher. And you can start another one over here. Ooh, it stuck to me. There we go. There we go. And then you just keep going all across the back, and you can also do it on the sides. And the best way to do the seaweed is on the back wall of your little box. And so I'm actually going to poke a hole right up here, right in the middle. And once my fish is completely dry, like it's still a little bit wet on the back, it's not dry, then I'm going to put a string through here. Oh, my tail. And I'm going to hang the fishy right here in the middle of the box. But I really can't do that until my fish is completely dried. What do you guys think of this underwater box? I knew this would be a little bit more difficult, and that's why I broke it down into a bunch of days. Once I have this all finished on Monday, I will definitely post a picture for you guys of what my under the sea box looks like. Not sure if you guys know this. Not sure if you're allowed to use it. I do have an Instagram and I do have a Twitter. My Instagram is Miss O'Keefe's Art Room. No, Miss O'Keefe's Art School. Sorry. Miss O'Keefe's Art School. I will put a new description in this live video. And the Twitter is NES Art Room Headquarters, HQ. So NES Art Room HQ headquarters. All right. I will be putting pictures up there. If you want to tag me in pictures, you can do that. You can do the little @ symbol, and then I will see your pictures on my Twitter or on my Instagram as well. I really hope you guys have fun with this project. I really hope you do. I hope I gave you guys enough different ideas. Remember, you don't have to make it fishy. If you want to make it something else, you can. Just look it up on Google what different things are. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining me with my live. Hope you guys get busy creating. Bye.